Today, starting this after going through Twitter and chat room and all of that, a lot of folks are asking, I'd love to see the difference between the 7-foot Octa and the 4-foot Octa and 50-inch softbox and a 28-inch softbox and a beauty dish and all of that. And we haven't even gotten into grids yet. We're going to get into grid spots today. We haven't gotten to the strip bank, the strip box yet, so we're going to strip today, all right? So you tune in, Zach's stripping. So we're going to start going through this. Now, this isn't going to be the most scientific, methodical process in the whole world of doing this. We're basically going to try to just keep a light stand in one spot, keep the power settings of the flash heads at the same place, and we're going to put the 7-foot Octa up. And then we're going to put the 4-foot Octa, and then we're going to go to softboxes, is that right, or umbrellas? We're going to go through our softboxes, we're going to go through our umbrellas, we're going to put grid spots, we're going to do beauty dish, and what we're looking for is how that affects the light falling on the subject, and how that affects the light falling from the subject to the background. This is somewhat scientific and somewhat just to walk them through, all right? Now, when you get your own modifiers, you're not going to just simply stick it in one spot and keep it there. You're going to feather it onto your subject. You're going to feather it off of your subject. You're going to put it in front of your subject. You're going to put it to the side of your subject. Just for the sake of kind of getting through this stuff quick, we've decided we're going to stick with one kind of angle, one kind of distance. I may come in and say, all right, here it is at the same distance, but how I would use this particular modifier is I would come in closer. And then here's what that looks like. All right. Our first client of the day is Lou. Come on through. Watch out for the spaghetti on the floor of electricity. Let's see. So we're going to have Lou sitting. Here you go. There's a package just arrived for you. We're going to have Lou sitting. I want her to be comfortable for this setup. I don't want her to have to stand in one weird, strange position as we parade light modifiers all throughout this situation here. We're going to work with our largest modifier first and get that shooting angle taken care of first, and we'll just base all the rest of the modifiers off of that kind of angle so we can see what different modifiers look like. Got it? Great. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my composition that I want. I've got my 80 to 200 on. And Lou, as I get started here, I've got to find my exposure and my composition. I got to get all my technical stuff kind of taken care of. So I just want you to be comfortable. And you know what? I'm going to switch out the chair. Let's get this stool real quick. That chair back is a little too high for what I'm wanting to do. So let's do this. I'm going to bring it up a bit. And I think what I'm going to have you do is you're going to kind of be facing this light here. Okay. And once we're going, you're going to be looking at camera. And, you know, at some point you'll take a break, but I'll need you to fall pretty close back in to whatever. If you'd like something to put a foot up on, if that makes you more comfortable, just let me know. Say, oh, I'd like a footstool, just let me know. If you're comfortable like this. In fact, let's grab an apple box. I got one right here. So Lou, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
I'm a marine biologist.
Marine biologist.
I'm a master's in wildlife biology.
I am too. No, I'm not. I wish. I'm the guy that went to school for 6 years, and I have an associate degree to show for it. Yeah, right? At least I have that, right? So if that makes you any more comfortable or not, if not, just kick it out of the way. I'll probably bring this down. So, marine biology, what do you do? What does that mean exactly?
Well, I work
Here, have a seat.
government,
Okay.
and I do Overseas abundance estimation
Okay.
for work, and for my thesis, I'm working with harbor purpose estimations, and it's pretty much
Wow.
watching wildlife in the ocean.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
How'd you get started into that?
When I was an undergrad, I volunteered for 2 years working with right whales identification with pictures. And when I graduated, I got a job at NOAA. And that's how it progressed.
All right.
Yeah.
You like it?
I do. I get
Yeah.
to go in the field.
Do you feel like this is what I'm made to do? Do you get that kind of satisfaction from your job?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was in the circus.
In the circus, huh?
I know.
Like Cirque du Soleil circus or like,
Yeah.
hey, come on down, get your cotton candy kind of circus?
No.
No, okay. All right, sweet. So you're doing great right there. And again, side note, teaching, talk. In my head, I'm going, okay, where are my lights going to be? But I want to, who are you, my subject, and what do you do, and what do you like? And those questions of like, do you feel like this is what you're made to do? Those are some of those like deep points I'll go with somebody sometimes, because sometimes it opens a box, you're like, oh, I'm trying to close it back. And sometimes it opens a box and it's like you just sit down for another 15 minutes and just like start talking about stuff. And remember that wherever you are in your life, if you're struggling, if you're going through all sorts of crazy stuff, that you're living your story, right? You don't know where it's going to end, and you may be struggling now, and you have these dreams, these aspirations, these things you want to be doing later in life. You let everybody kind of know what that is. It's not the whole put it out in the universe and it will return to you kind of thing in my head, but it is, I have no idea who she may know or what network she runs in. And I've had so many opportunities come up because I've told one person, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to do this kind of project. You know what? I got a buddy that works for a company that's looking for something kind of like that. Let me connect you. That's what I love about my town, Atlanta. We are a networking city. And we love to connect people to other people in our town. And so I just let my clients know this is what I want to do. You know, I told Chase Jarvis in the interview the other day, I really want to shoot a cover of Rolling Stone. And he said back to me, okay, I need to put you in touch with somebody. Had I not said that, now, I haven't gotten the assignment yet, Chase Jarvis, but, all right. So, you're hanging out. I'm going to get all of my settings, my readings, my stuff done, and then we're going to start going, okay? So, are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Do you need a water or drink or?
No, I'll be okay.
You're okay? If you need anything at all, just let us know.
Thank you.
Service industry, take care of your clients. Light meter, can we go on camera 3, camera 1? I'm using a light meter, Sekonic light meter, testing flash, built-in Pocket Wizard transmitter. It's really nice. There are two schools of thought on how to use a flash meter. One school of thought is you come to where your client is and you point the incident dome. We're taking incident readings. You point the dome towards the camera. There's another school of thought that you take the dome and you point it towards the light source. Some people swear that you must do it by the light source. Some people swear you must do it towards camera. Whichever way you decide to do it, always do it that way. And you will do a set of pictures, a bracket, and you will calibrate your meter. All right. My meter is calibrated to, I think it's minus a third stop, because that's what I want. This is not dead on to your camera. Even from lens to lens, it can change half a stop. All right. So whatever you do, either towards the camera or towards the light source, you just always do it that way. I have just always done it towards the camera. Unless my light is at such a crazy degree angle, I may do it towards the light at that point. But typically I come in, I point it, and it's giving me an exposure of 7.1. So I'm going to set my camera to 7.1. A question came across Twitter yesterday. Why do you use a lens hood on your 70 to 200 and not your 24 to 70? The reason being is the lens hood was on this lens when I started shooting it. And when I started shooting the 24 to 70 yesterday, it was not on there. That's the big reason. This one is still in the bag. And I didn't see any flare yesterday, so I don't even need it. I really don't even need it on this one, so I could take it on, I could take it off, whatever. But I'm going to find my composition. I don't like shooting on a tripod at all. Perfect. And your face just a little bit over this way, Lou. Right there. Great. I'm at 7.1. I am at 1/25th of a second. I am at ISO 100, and I take a picture. That looks pretty good. I'm going to change my composition. Perfect. Right there, Lou. Good. Hold that. And I'm going to try to get this all locked in. Locked. There we go. Good. And Lou, let me have you kind of looking that way just a bit, looking off camera. All right, that's good. And then, no, come back to me just a little bit more, looking at me, and then your eyes back to camera. We'll just do that. Just kind of loosen up, get comfortable. Right there, that's great. Just put your hands together. That's nice. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, great. As long as you're comfortable, we're great. And just head tilt. Kind of right there. That's perfect right there. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. I want to find my one single composition for this series of pictures, and I don't want it to change. I want light, I want to see her, and then I want to see the background because I want to see what my modifier is doing. One single modifier to the subject, to the background. And we're going to get this set up. I think that is what I want right there. Get everything locked down. I'll probably even lock my focus. Boom. Hold right there for a second. Do. All right, caught you in mid perk. There we go. A little bit of a smile. Great. Everyone say Westcott. Looking. We have Brandy here again, our awesome rockin' hair and makeup artist. We're probably going to put you on a camera at some point and ask you questions about the kind of stuff that you do, if you're okay with that. Great. Exposure looks good. Light looks good. And all right, so who's keeping the list? Who's keeping our list? Okay. We both are, okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep a list of these modifiers. We're going to keep a list of the settings, and at 7.1, at 8, they're going to be changing a little bit. Another thing I want to do, Dan, is I'm going to do two things. We're going to mark the center of this stand right here, so it can always go back to that. And then I may take a shot and then say, but if I was using this modifier, I'd bring it in like this. All right? So, big old 8-foot octa. Perfect. Oh, let's do a meter reading. We're going to come right up. You don't want to take a meter reading from here because the light could be a different exposure than here. We are at F9, being that we're using an Alien B. We have to take a couple readings to make sure it's being consistent for us. F9, that's 2/3 of a stop difference. Great. Looking right here, Lou. Little smile. Perfect. That looks pretty consistent to the last one. So we had the 7-foot. Now we have the 4-foot. We have a little bit darker of a shadow, all right? If you could, hey, can you be my sandbag man? Just pull that up real quick. Let me grab my meter. If I'm using this 4-foot octa, I like to have my modifiers in as close as I possibly can have them. And I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to feather it. It's hanging out in front of Lou more than it is pointing at her. She's right at the back edge of it from camera. We are now at F13 on that picture. I'm not going to change any power settings. I want you to see how all of this changes. Good, right? Well, dang it, I moved my camera. Perfect. Great. My Octa's a little bit in my shot. Good. Right there. Perfect, Lou. You're doing great. We appreciate you letting us nerd out. All right. So I would have brought it in closer if I had done that. And we're going to see what bringing it in close. So let's do on the notes, octa, standard, octa, 4-foot, octa, close. Right. Okay. Next. Where are we going up to next? Big Mama?
Yeah.
All right. While that's getting changed out, can we go to my Lightroom computer? All right. We have the 7-foot octa. Watch this shadow area right here. It's going to get darker when we go to the 4-foot. This area got darker with the 4-foot than it did with the 7. The 7 is, it wraps around because it's larger. It gets a little bit harder since it's a smaller light source. And then if I were to use it myself, I'd probably bring it in even closer. Watch the background. I can just feather it off of the background, make the background darker. I could feather it back around to her and make it lighter. And I would most likely take it higher to drop a little more shadow under the chin. All right? It's one thing I'd be looking for. That looks nice. Grid. All right, we up with Big Mama? Let's tilt her down just a bit. This is the 50-inch Westcott Apollo. No? All right, got it. Turn the modeling light on. Yo, yeah, that's working. All right. We are on a different channel on the Pocket Wizard. Let me change Pocket Wizard channel. All right, Dan, we are on channel 3 on all of these.
Okay.
All right. Channel 3. Okay. You doing all right?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. F8. F8. 7.1. Look at that. Just changed. 7.1. 7.1. 7.1 we're sticking with. We talked first day about the price of these lights. All right, good. A little smile. Perfect. Boom. And looks good. All right, let's, if I had this, let's pop that sandbag off right now. I love, again, I bring these in close, and let's point it towards her a little bit. We'll throw a little more light on the background. I brought it in, I changed exposure because my distance changed. We are at F10. Doot, 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 doot. So the first one was further away. I go to F10. Perfect, right there, Lou. Face just a little turn this way, right there, good. Perfect. All right, next. Notice this. Notice when I had the Octabank further away, the 4-foot, further away and closer, compare. Background changed a lot. Your light placement and how you feather it and inverse square law, all of that can really dramatically change your background. Do you need to make your background lighter? Do you need to make it darker? You do that through inverse square law and feathering. And we go back into our grid. We have our 50-inch further away and then closer. But this time I kind of didn't feather it so hard off. But I can't make as dramatic of a change with that 50-inch as I can with that Octa. But there's the difference between the two, the 50-inch, and again, if we come in and look at the shadowed area, it's nowhere near as open as that Octabank is. That Octa is like a main and a fill. If I come in with the Octa and the grid, the 50-inch softbox and compare them, and we look at these shadows, it's darker with the 50-inch softbox. And check out the catch light. The catch lights are a little brighter, a little hotter of a highlight. All right, where are we going to now? 28-inch Westcott Apollo grid. And what we're going to do is sometime today or this evening, we're going to put all of these up on the blog. All right, here we go. I told you we were going to nerd out. 6.3 we are now, 6.3. Now when we put that 28-inch up there, the face of it is quite a bit further away than where we started with the Octabank. All right, so that looks good, a nice smile. Perfect, right there, hold that. I love this 28-inch softbox. Yes, question?
There's just a few questions in the Twitter and the chat room about what do you mean by feathering? And
Okay.
what does it mean to feather
Can
the
we
light?
get one of these camera angles in on me? We won't need the soft. This thing's not going to go over. All right. Let me look at my monitor. How are we doing on the monitor here? All right. All right, let's go to one of these cameras back here. Okay. There we go. Light is pointing away from our subject, and we just start to feather it in. And the feather is that edge of the light it creates. So there's light coming out this way, and then it diminishes off to the sides, and we catch some of that diminishing area. That's the feathered area of it. We can point it right at our subject or feather it off just a little bit to where our subject still sees the face of the softbox, but it's pointing here. She's here, all right? So you can point it right at your subject, or you can feather it off a little bit. That Octa, my favorite way to use it is feathered off of the subject. My 28-inch box, I like to have it pointing at my subject. It's far more directional. I would probably bring it in about this close. She's still on the back edge of it from camera position. So meaning it's not pointing behind her head, but it's pointing in front of her head. But from where she's standing, she's seeing the full face of that softbox. F11. F11. There we go. Awesome. It's a beautiful light. Head and shoulders, headshot. Not like actress headshot, but I love this box. It's very directional, yet it has a really nice soft quality to it. It's going to have much darker shadows. Oh man, the South is coming out. It's got a lot of darker shadows in it, man. You saw my used car salesman video, so you asked. You don't have that accent. I can turn it on. Okay, next, what are we going to? Strip? All right, we're going to the strip bank. This is the Westcott 12-inch by 50-inch strip. Can you turn that around to camera here? So, or just point it, yeah. All right, and let's turn it this way. Here, I'll grab it. 12-inch by 50-inch. It's a softbox, but it's very narrow, all right? A little strip of light. Love it. All right, we're gonna rock this a little bit more today. All right, this is going on the head. Now then, this is without a grid in the box. Some soft boxes you can get a grid. You can get a grid to be in the box. That's the next modifier coming up. These are beautiful, beautiful lights. If you want a really nice soft rim light on a subject, you want to create something kind of dramatic and dark and moody, which we'll have coming up. The strip light is also like my favorite modifiers list is growing, and the strip is definitely there. So meter reading, we are at 7.1. Let's see if Zach can remember to change his aperture. 7.1. Perfect, right there. Good. Now then, a strip, I wouldn't typically use it this far away. You can. And we won't need it back on. It won't fall over. I'm going to come in with it like to the side of her and angle it down a little more. Oh, thank you. Something like this, where it is pointing right on her. It's got a thick lip on it. That feathered edge just is gone. I change distance. I change exposure. 13. 13. 13. Lucky 13. Yes.
The meter reading between facing the camera and facing a strip light was something that's that direct. Is that going to be significantly different from something that's like a larger source, like the Octabank?
The thing about pointing, the question's about pointing the meter towards the camera or towards the light when it's more directional. Does it really make a big difference? The thing about it is consistency. You're going to get to know your meter. It isn't going to be exactly perfect right out of the box because you have to calibrate it. You just want to be consistent in how you use it all the time. And you will find that there are times that you need to tweak it a bit because you know, I have a real dramatic side light coming in here. This meter isn't seeing a lot of that. I'm going to kind of angle it a little closer to my light than normal and take my reading. All right. But again, those two schools of thought, towards the light or towards the camera, whichever you decide you're going to do, you just always do that. And then these meters will be calibrated. You go into the menu system and you say -1 stop, because for your camera and favorite lens combo, you find that that meter is 1 stop from the exposure you actually want. So you just calibrate it and go with it. All right, Lou, you holding up with us? Awesome. What did I say that was, 13?
13.
13, excellent, right there. Good. All right, really cut the light off. Let's go to the light room real quick. Really cut the light off of the background as I brought it in closer. Background, I can't talk, it's day 3. I'm going insane. Compare. Come on, there we go. All right, so that strip, you need to just bring that light in on your subject and cut that background down. That strip light is gorgeous for that. Let's switch it out for the one with the grid spot. Now, let me have that for a second while you take that one off. We now have a grid. How are we doing over here? This egg crate grid that Velcros in, all right? Now, one thing about this grid is it's about as much, if not $1 or $2 more, than the actual softbox itself. But this allows you to control the light. And there is no feathering with this now, because this grid, let's go to camera 3. Can we go to camera 3? You see inside the softbox there? As soon as I turn it, you don't see the face of the softbox anymore, right there. So any light that would be coming out of this would not be hitting that camera, that video camera lens you're watching right now. And then I turn it back and you can see full into it. And back, now you'll not see any of it. This is for fine-tuning your control of where that light's going to hit and what it will not hit. All right? So, let me grab the meter. Isn't this fun? 1, 2. It actually is kind of fun, isn't it? Let's angle it up just a little bit. So we're going to go back to our starting standard position. We're at 6.3, 5.6, 5.6, 5.6. I'm on over to the camera. 5.6. Right there, perfect. Whoops, bam, 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 it's a fashion shoot. All right. Let me erase one of those because we're going to look at it in post-production later and go, what was that picture? Delete. Oh, I can just hit delete key. Remove, delete from disk. All right. So that is that correct? Yes. Now, the grid in close. I should just hang this around my neck, shouldn't I? I need a little like belt pack for it.
Get you a fatty pack.
Oh, a fanny pack. Man, that'd be nice. I could take it down to Disney World with my family on vacation. Have my fanny pack, my cold beer, my Marlboros. All right. I'm an idiot. All right, so hanging out right there. F9. Let me bring this in just a little bit more. I'm probably going to get this in my shot, so I'm going to back it out just a bit. F9, F8, F8, 8. F8. And when you get modifiers, do this kind of stuff. You might be, well, this is really boring. Okay, well, it's kind of boring, but you know what? This kind of stuff, you get to know your modifiers. All right, so we have the strip without the grid and with. All right. Yeah, we're going to have to take notes, so when I come back and look at this later. All right. Another nice thing with this grid, before we move on from it, I'm going to bring it over to more of a side light. Perfect. You're hanging out just like that, kind of looking that way. Now, it's over at a really strong angle. This is one of those times I'll just kind of crank my meter over just a little bit. F9, 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 10. We're going to go with F9, split the difference. Great. You're just kind of looking over that way just a bit and down a little more. Good. Very nice. Really dramatic kind of look. A little more serious. Awesome. You're doing fine. It's great. I love it. Now I got to deal with all that crap in Lightroom. Okay. Perfect. Look a little more to your left. A little more. Right there. Great. And looking down. Yeah, down a little more. Right there. Hold that. Beautiful. Beautiful light. This little strip light. And then let's just one more little kind of rim light. Right there. So you're still looking kind of down this way. And I'm keeping the distance about the same. So I'm going to just expect the exposure to stay the same. Perfect. So moving it around. Boom, 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 boom. Here's all the same pictures that I shot. This was kind of directly in front of her, and then bringing the light, the picture on the left, it's directly in front of her face, like pointing right to her nose, and then it's going back behind her a little bit, pointing a little bit back towards camera. All right? Move that light around and see what it does for you. All right, next modifier. We're going to the umbrella next. Question came up yesterday about, can I discuss butterfly lighting, broad lighting, short lighting, Rembrandt, split lighting, reformed, southern reformed, half broad, half Rembrandt lighting? Maybe. This is the thing. Most people getting into this, they're getting into this for the first time. I think I said this earlier. We can go so deep with lighting, and then I can throw so much information at you that it just continues to be overwhelming. And I have found when teaching lighting that it's best to just, we get exposure down. We get working with our subjects down. We get you to a comfort level where you're not afraid of this stuff anymore. All right? And then learning like broad lighting versus short lighting, you can look a blog post on that and see the difference in the two. And if you understand, excuse me, if you understand, this light or that light. A broad light is the face this way with the light on this side. Like, it will make instant sense to you. All right? Once you are comfortable with how light works, how the modifiers work, how all of that happens. So we'll talk about that maybe a little bit more. Like, I'm going to do a broad light. I'm going to do a short light. But I'm not going to break it down and to the fine tune. It gets very academic. I'm more of a feel it out. All right? I'm not going to show you the 3-to-1 proper lighting ratio, boring headshot. I will probably have to pull that out at some point, but I just don't want to shoot those pictures. All right, 60-inch reflective umbrella, 6.3. I'm going with 1 meter reading. 6.3. Perfect. Right there, a little smile. Good. All right. Now, you know what's really interesting about this? Notice how the color changed. If we'll go up to the compare. Your modifiers are going to be different color temperatures. Great. Right there, 6, 9, 8, 9, 9, 8, 8, 9. Seriously? 9? All right. I'm going with 9. F9. Great. All right. Probably should have been 8. All right, little smile. Ding. Great smile. You can just bing. 8 looked a little better. Check this out. Check this out. I'm going to go umbrella versus octa. Whoops, not all of them. And on the internets, I don't know how well you'll see this, but you should be able to see it fairly well when I compare these two. Look at the difference in color between these two modifiers. I'm not sure. No, we'll see. We're going to put them up. We're going to put them up. We'll put a few color examples, but I'm going to convert all of them to black and white all the same way so that you're just looking at light and not color. I like to look at all these modifiers in black and white, so I'm just seeing highlight, shadow. So we're going to put them on the blog that way. But I'll put a few examples of, like, here's the Octabank, straight out of camera, same color settings. Here's the umbrella, straight out of camera. Let's switch this out to shoot through. All right, so this has been reflective. Let's switch it out to shoot through. You're going to be looking, you'll see how these...
You want to do poor man's? Before...
Ooh, poor man's softbox. Thank you, Dan. Yes. All right. To finish my thought, I'm going to put 2 color images side by side, the Octabank and we'll do the umbrella, so that you can see side by side how these 2 modifiers are of different color temperature, all right? And how we will need to build profiles later for each one. So those of you tuning in going, golly, Sunday morning, this is the most boring part of the workshop yet. Okay, but we're getting a little more technical and all of that today. And we're answering questions. So, poor man's softbox. Check this out. I talk about if I had one modifier only, it would be the 60-inch shoot-through or convertible umbrella. And the difference, the main difference between an umbrella and a softbox for me. Let's grab the 28-inch. Can you kick that to me real quick? Just throw it to me the way it is.
It's got a light in it.
Oh. Dan, throw it. Dan, throw it. Oh, there's a head in it. All right. So, umbrella versus softbox, quickly. If I am wanting to light the subject and the environment that they're sitting in, I first go to the umbrella because it just spreads that light out over a large area. That's where I'm going. If I want to light the subject and not so much of the environment they're sitting in, I go to a softbox. It is still a soft light source, but it is more directional. I use the 28-inch Apollo to shoot 1 to 2 people. 1 or 2 people, and those 2 people better like each other because they're going to be in close. Now you can shoot a group of 6 people with this, but you have to take your modifier and put it 10 feet away to cover that range. Once you take this 10 feet away, you are losing the look of what this gives you close in. The rule of thumb for a modifier is your working distance from your subject is right on top of them to 2 times the diagonal length of the face of the modifier. So let's just say this is 2.5 feet. The rule of thumb working distance would be very close in to about 5 feet away. Anything beyond 5 feet, it is still a diffused light source, but the further it gets away, the more of a point light source it becomes. So 1 to 2 people with this box. With that 50-inch, I'll do 1 to 4 people with the 50-inch softbox. If I have to shoot more than 4 people, like I could do 5 with that, and they all have to be like head like a kite, group shot on the white, that kind of close together. I can do that with the 50-inch fine. But if I'm shooting a group shot at, let's say, 10 people, I go immediately to the 60-inch umbrella. All right? I'm there immediately. I'm not going to use this for a group shot of 10 people. But a group shot of 10 people with a 60-inch, that's fine. I'm going to back it out. It's going to be straight up over my head. It's going to light everyone pretty evenly, and I'm done with my job. If I'm shooting 10, 15, 20 people, we are not talking fine art portraiture at this point. We're talking about get the job done. They need to be lit well. They need to all, my motto is if they have a chin, they get a shadow underneath it. All right? So they get a shadow underneath the chin. If they have it, they all get light in the eyes. This side of the group to this side of the group, they're all lit evenly within a stop from each other. I've done my job. Now, if HBO calls and says, we want a group shot of these 12 people for the new campaign of our new TV show, it is not lined up and a 60-inch umbrella over my head. At that point, let's say it's a group shot. You guys are the cast of the new blah, blah, blah show. That starts getting to bars running across the set, and you guys have a gridded softbox for you. You've got a light coming in somewhere. Like, I'm going to light you as a group, but each individual, like suddenly there's multiple lights flying above. I'm shooting this big set. But I'd have 2 big rollers or risers or big stands of some sort with a bar coming across the top and my lights up here out of my shot lighting you. That'd be the first place I'd go. And then we're suddenly talking about walking in on the set with $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of gear to shoot the big cable network promotional shot of a 12-member cast show. It is this much production for that one shot. All right? We're not doing that in this workshop because everyone watching this, like, if you're watching this and you know how to do that big production, like, why are you watching this, right? This is for getting started. This is, I need to shoot portrait group shots at the wedding, right? 60-inch umbrella over your head, bam, done. I've lit 30 people at the altar of a church with one 60-inch umbrella. It can be done. It goes way up high, 8, 10 feet up in the air, whoosh, down on top of everyone. All right, so if you don't have a 28-inch softbox, like this, and look, a Westcott Apollo, it's up, it's down, it's so great. You can fake it. Poor man's softbox. You take a 60-inch umbrella and you lightly close it down. Not all the way, you don't want it like this, but it's like halfway closed. Halfway closed in. All right, I'm not going to hit your toe. I'm going to try not to. Somewhere in there. Meter reading? F9, closed down umbrella. F9. Perfect, right there, Lou. Great. Now, I hear tell, somebody whispered in my ear that your husband is a photographer.
Yes.
Yes! Your husband is a photographer.
Friend.
Huh?
The boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Whoops. I heard wrong. Sorry. So, oh, there's a box. See, there's a box you could open with a subject. You get your information wrong. I could go there, but I'm not going to. Where is he? Is he? Hiding in the corner over here. Yeah, so your boyfriend is Tim.
Yeah.
Right over here. We have Tim kind of hanging out. Tim is a local commercial editorial shooter here. Introduce yourself for a second while we get this set up. Tell us who you are.
Tim Matsui, and I do some commercial work, but it's predominantly editorial and documentary. Human trafficking, alternative energy, and the environment are the focuses of my personal work. And I just got back from working with MediaStorm for the past 3 months, doing multimedia production,
Yep.
such stuff. So
Brian's an amazing dude, isn't he?
he's pretty inspirational, yeah.
Brian, I met Brian a long time ago, like when he was like, new media, it's this stuff, get a video camera and start recording audio. And people either thought he was visionary or like crazy,
Yeah.
you know? Didn't know which way to go with it.
I think he's a little of both.
He is, and that's what's so great about him.
Yeah.
He's a crazy visionary, and yeah. So MediaStorm, if you're not familiar with MediaStorm, you need to be looking at what MediaStorm does and Brian Storm with that. Give us your website.
TimMatsui.com, that's TIMMATSUI.
Right.
Thank you.
And how'd you end up here today?
Today?
Yeah.
Because Dan Depew
Dan.
interned with me, I don't know how long ago. He was very assertive, I think, like he was with you and getting into your studio.
Wouldn't take no for an answer.
Exactly. And
7.1 we're
Yeah, he
going
was
to.
heading up to Seattle, and so I saw why he was heading up. Saw your fun video, and Lou laughed at it quite a bit, and decided we had to meet you. So
Awesome. Well,
why
thanks
we-
for coming in.
yeah.
You good-looking boyfriend, girlfriend couple.
Yeah, boyfriend, girlfriend, yes. Or partner, or whatever you want to call it.
Right, whatever the word is today. Awesome. So, 7.1 on that. I just shot a picture, shoot through. Now, let's pop this off real quick. I'm going to show you the main difference between shoot through and reflective of why I go from one to the other. Light bouncing into this is reflective light. Light coming through it is shoot through light. You got to pixel peep at this distance. You got to really pixel peep to see the difference between the two. But here's where I love shoot through over reflective. When I'm 5, 6, 10, 15 feet away, it doesn't matter. Reflective, shoot through, the same amount of light's kind of coming through it as it is coming out of it. Sometimes coming out the front here is about the same. Yes?
I just wanted to mention we just crashed Tim's website.
Great. Sorry, Holmes. Yeah. You're like, oh, I went down to this place and now I got a $100 over bandwidth charge. Great.
Talk to them, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I'll be billing you.
All right. Send it to Craig Swanson, care of Creative Live. Send it to Chase Jarvis, care of. All right. So, reflective or shoot through? You get it 10, 15 feet away. You can't tell the difference between the two, really. All right. You might be a 2/3 of a stop difference. It might be a little, you get a little another third, 2/3, half stop reflective than you would shoot through it 15 feet away for a huge group shot. All right. But here's the deal. The larger the light source is in relationship to your subject, the softer the light's going to be, correct? The larger the light source, the softer the light. So in relationship to your subject. So if we can cut to cam 3 here. If this is a reflective light, and I'm bringing it closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to get it softer, I impale my subject with the umbrella shaft, all right? So the shoot through in its beauty comes in right here, really close. You can bring this in really, really close on someone. And how I like to use this the most, and I'll set this up at some point today, is I bring it in really close. It's right, I kind of have to hand hold it for a second. It's right over my shoulder, so you'd be looking right to me. It's right over my shoulder, and it's really in close. It's a soft, beautiful, beautiful light source. It's really, really nice. Problems with it, though, is if the shoot-through gets in between your subject and your lens, all of this lights up. All of this here lights up and sends light straight back into your lens. So you have to watch out for flare.